Hey everyone, it's Carrie from Carrie's Wreath Creations. I am here today to show you how to make a pinwheel style petal. This is a little bit of a variation on the Rita petal, which I made in a previous video. So with the Rita petal, grab it right here. We do have, we're going to have a very similar looking petal, but if you take a look at this one, you see your petals are kind of going in different directions. So if you want a pinwheel style look, you're going to want to follow this tutorial here in order to get that both petals kind of going the same direction. So this doesn't necessarily have a name. I'm just going to go ahead and call it the pinwheel petal. And we're going to work with poly burlap. So I do have this cut into a 10 by 10 inch square. I did use a wood burning tool, so I have my factory edges and then my cut edges here on the side. You're going to want, most likely, just to keep your petals looking nice and neat and clean, you're going to want, I'm going to use 2 clips on this petal. And then of course you're going to want either the board or the frame that you're going to work with. If you're making a wreath, have that ready to go. If you're just making a bunch of petals so that you can put them into the board when you're done or put them onto the frame. You're just making a bunch of petals, have something to either little rubber bands or some kind of clips to hold your petals together once they're folded. So let's go ahead and get started. So I do have my poly burlap, curl side up, factory edges, cut edges, okay? Like we start many of our petals, we're gonna go ahead and turn this into a diamond shape. And I'm gonna bring the top, the bottom up to meet the top, okay? Now, similar to the Rita petal, which was our pointed petal that I showed you earlier, we do want these corners, these edges here of our triangle to be lined up. We actually don't really need to worry too much about the top being lined up, okay? And sometimes that happens where the top isn't lined up once you line up these corners here. So all I'm doing is just making sure that they are perfectly lined up, okay, and then putting a clip on. So yeah, this might not end up being a perfect, perfect triangle if we're a little off on our 10 by 10 cut, but that's okay. Just clip your ends so that when you get to the end, you have nice clean points on your petal. So then what I'm going to do is go ahead and take this top, which again isn't quite exactly lined up, but that's okay. It's going to get hidden. And I'm going to go ahead and bring this down to the bottom, just like this. Okay. So I have this. Now here's where you can either be exact with some measurements, or if you want to kind of eyeball it, it's totally up to you. But what you're going to do is take one side and kind of at a diagonal, bring it up towards the other side. But it has to be at a diagonal. You're not folding it in half because you want 2 distinct points on this petal. Okay, now if you want to eyeball it, cool. If you want to measure, that's fine too. So like, let's say, for example, these are here, this is on my board at the 7-inch mark. Maybe I want, let's say 3 inches, or let's say 2.5 inches between my points. I could use my measuring, my board underneath here, my measuring mat, to kind of see exactly where that is. And that way your petals look the same every single time, okay? You also want to make sure that your points are, in addition to being, however the distance that you want to make sure that they're lined up like this. You don't want one that's higher than the other. They should be even, okay? So then you just have kind of a whole folded bunch of stuff right here, and you're gonna scrunch along that, okay? So just like, you have kind of a lot there to grab, so you're not scrunching to a whole lot there, okay? And there you have that. And we're kind of droopy here because I have those clips still on, but let me go ahead and I'm going to rubber band this, and then we'll hold it up and get the clips off and all that. You can see what it looks like. Okay. So just like that. Okay. And this is I have this little end sticking out here. Kind of tuck that back in. That should get hidden once you put it on the board. You're not going to really see that far down anyways. But there's your petal. And as you can see, both of these points are going in the same direction as opposed to this one where they're going in opposite directions. It's a different fold, but kind of the same idea. You could make this one so that these points of the petal are farther apart if you wanted to. For pinwheel style wreaths, usually we have those petals kind of closer together. Okay, so whatever is your preference will work. So this could go right into the board or onto the frame, whatever you choose. So thank you for watching this tutorial. If you want to see other tutorial videos, if you want to see the Rita petal tutorial and all kinds of other things like full-length wreath tutorial videos, please feel free to subscribe to me on YouTube. You can also find in the description box below links to my social media. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and TikTok at Carrie's Wreath Creations. I also have affiliate links for Unique in the Creek that make the boards and provide wreath supplies. I also have an Amazon affiliate shop, which is where you can find some of the supplies that I use as well. And I appreciate you watching. Thank you and have a great day, everyone. Bye.